Do you ever feel like you're missing something when it comes to understanding your child's needs? Maybe they communicate in a way that feels different, or you've been told they're on the autism spectrum, but you're not quite sure what that really means. What if I told you there's a big difference between verbal and nonverbal autism? And understanding those differences could make all the difference in how you support your child. It's not just about whether they talk or not, it's about how they experience the world, how they communicate, and how they process everything around them. Today, we're going to talk about 10 key differences between verbal and nonverbal autism that most parents don't realize. These insights will help you understand your child more deeply, and I promise it's going to be a game changer in the way you approach everyday life. Stick around, because once you know these differences, it can completely shift how you help your child thrive. Let's start with communication. When it comes to verbal autism, children can speak, but it's not always as straightforward as it sounds. They may have the words, but using those words in social situations can be tricky. For example, a child might say something, but it may not be in the right tone or in a way that makes sense to others around them. This doesn't mean they can't communicate effectively. It just means their communication looks different from what we might expect. It's about understanding that the words are there, but they might need help in expressing them in a way that fits the social context. Now, on the other hand, nonverbal autism refers to children who don't rely on speech as their main form of communication. Instead, they might express themselves through gestures, body language, facial expressions, or even using alternative tools like picture cards or speech-generating devices. These kids are still communicating, they just have a different way of doing it, and understanding that is key. They may use gestures to point at something they want, or they may show excitement by clapping their hands. It's important to realize that communication isn't limited to just words. If your child is nonverbal, there are many tools that can help. Consider using a picture exchange communication system, or PECS, or a speech-generating device. These tools can bridge the gap and give your child a voice, even if it's not through speech. And if your child is verbal but struggles with social communication, don't be discouraged. There are ways to help them improve their social skills too. 2. Social interactions. When it comes to social interactions, children with verbal autism may want to engage with others, but it's not always a smooth process. They might struggle with back-and-forth conversations. A verbal child could say something, but they might not wait for a response or might jump from topic to topic without noticing that the other person is struggling to keep up. Social cues like eye contact, tone, or body language often feel like a puzzle that's hard to put together. They may even talk in ways that seem off-topic or unrelated to the conversation, which can make socializing tricky for them. Nonverbal children, on the other hand, might have even harder time with social interaction. They may not be able to express themselves through words, so they might use physical touch or gestures to communicate. For example, a nonverbal child might pull your hand to show they want something, or they might point at something to get your attention. While they might not engage in a conversation the way a verbal child would, they still have their own ways of interacting with the world around them. It's just a different form of social engagement. Encourage play-based communication strategies with your child. Use toys, role-playing, or even simple activities like taking turns in games to model social behavior. Creating a structured environment for these interactions can help your child feel more comfortable and supported in social situations. You're already taking the first steps by watching this video. But let's be real, if you don't hit subscribe right now, you'll miss out on the next crucial piece of advice that could make all the difference. Don't risk it. 3. Language development. Let's talk about language development. Children with verbal autism may have language skills, but they don't always use those skills in the way we expect. Some kids may have a large vocabulary and use a wide range of words, but they might only use them in specific situations or contexts. Other times, their language development might be inconsistent. One day they can use words like any other child, and the next, they might struggle to express themselves at all. Some children with verbal autism may even repeat things they've heard, a behavior known as echolalia. It's a way for them to process the world, but it doesn't always mean they fully understand what they're saying. For children who are nonverbal, language development can look very different. Some may understand language perfectly. They know what you're saying, but can't find the words to express themselves. Others might have difficulty understanding language as well. The gap between what they understand and what they can express can be tough for both parents and children. And while speech might not be their primary form of communication, many nonverbal children can still show comprehension in other ways, like following simple commands or responding to familiar phrases. Start with developing your child's understanding. If your child is nonverbal, you can use picture cards, sign language, or communication apps to help them begin expressing themselves. With verbal children, it's about consistency and patience. Encourage communication even when it's repetitive because it's part of their language journey. 4. Sensory processing differences. Sensory processing can be another area where kids with verbal autism face challenges. Even though they can speak, they might still have heightened sensitivities to sensory input, like loud noises, bright lights, or certain textures. But because they can verbalize how something feels, they might say, "It's too loud," or "This is itchy." Others might express discomfort through behavior, like covering their ears or avoiding certain areas. For nonverbal children, sensory sensitivities can be even more intense. They may not have the words to tell you when something is overwhelming, so their discomfort might show up in other ways. It could lead to meltdowns, repetitive movements, or even withdrawing from people or activities. It can be heartbreaking to see them struggling and not knowing exactly how to help. But understanding the sensory piece of the puzzle is essential. Creating a sensory-friendly space in your home can go a long way. Keep the environment calm with soft lighting, noise-canceling headphones, or even weighted blankets to help them feel more at ease. Identifying what sensory triggers your child responds to and adjusting the environment accordingly can make a huge difference. You don't have to struggle through this journey without the right support. Autism Positive Parenting and the other books I've mentioned can transform the way you approach parenting your child with autism. Click the link in the description, or you might find yourself going in circles without the right answers. 5. Coping mechanisms. Verbal children might cope with stress or anxiety in ways that involve their speech. They might hum, repeat comforting phrases, or even talk to themselves to self-soothe. They might ask for help more readily because they can verbalize their needs, but sometimes it still might not make sense to others. Nonverbal children might not be able to vocalize their needs or feelings, so they often develop physical coping mechanisms. These could include hand flapping, rocking, or stimming, which are repetitive movements or behaviors that help them regulate their emotions and sensory input. These behaviors can be soothing for them, but for parents, it may feel like they're doing something that's hard to understand. Recognizing these self-soothing behaviors is key. Give your child space to engage in these coping mechanisms in a safe and supportive environment. If they're doing something that seems repetitive or odd, it's usually their way of finding calm in a world that might feel overwhelming. 6. Understanding of abstract concepts. When it comes to abstract thinking, verbal children may struggle with things like sarcasm, idioms, or hypothetical situations. For instance, if you say, "It's raining cats and dogs," they might not understand that it's just an expression for heavy rain. They might take everything literally, and this can lead to confusion or frustration. For nonverbal children, understanding abstract concepts can be even challenging. They often rely on concrete objects and clear visual examples. Something that's abstract, like the concept of time, can be especially hard for them to grasp without concrete cues, like a visual timer or schedule. Use visuals to teach abstract concepts. Flashcards, drawings, or real-life objects can be great ways to make those concepts more understandable for your child. The clearer the visual connection, the easier it is for your child to make sense of what you're trying to teach them. Here's a thought. If you don't subscribe right now, you might find yourself in the same place tomorrow, wondering what you could have done differently. Don't wait for another chance. Subscribe today and be proactive in getting the help your child deserves. 7. Emotional expression. Verbal children may have the words to express their feelings, but sometimes their emotional expression can still be misunderstood. They might say, "I'm fine," when you know they're upset. Or they might have trouble matching their emotional state with the words they use. It's like their feelings don't always align with the words that come out of their mouths. Nonverbal children express their emotions in different ways. They may not have the ability to say, "I'm sad," but they might show their feelings through their facial expressions, body language, or actions. For example, if they're feeling anxious, they might wring their hands or avoid eye contact. Help your child label their emotions. Color-coded systems, emotion cards, or visual aids can give them a way to identify and express their feelings, even if they can't use words. It's like their feelings don't always align with the words that come out of their mouths. 8. Daily living skills. Daily living skills like brushing teeth, getting dressed, or feeding themselves might be easier for verbal children with autism, but they still often need guidance. They might struggle with sequencing tasks or following through on a routine, so helping them break down each step can be really effective. Nonverbal children may need more direct assistance with everyday tasks. They might need physical help to complete things like eating, dressing, or using the bathroom. While they may understand what's going on, they often need more hands-on support and patience from caregivers. Create a visual schedule for daily tasks. Break each task down into simple, manageable steps using pictures or illustrations. This can make a huge difference in helping your child feel more independent and confident in their daily routine. I know you want to be the best parent you can be for your child, but here's the truth. You can't do it alone, and you certainly can't afford to go without expert advice. Autism Positive Parenting is right there in the description for you. Click that link and take control of your child's future now. 9. Educational support. Children with verbal autism might excel in certain educational environments that offer speech therapy or social skills training. Individualized education plans, IEPs, can be incredibly helpful as they tailor learning strategies to each child's unique needs. For nonverbal children, educational support might focus more on augmentative communication tools like AAC devices or using sensory-based approaches to learning. The key is working with their strengths and adapting the environment to fit their communication style. Advocate for your child's educational needs. Work closely with teachers and therapists to ensure your child has the right resources to succeed. Whether it's speech therapy, AAC devices, or specialized instruction, it's important that your child's learning environment supports their unique way of communicating. 10. Long-term outlook. With the right support, verbal children can develop functional communication skills and lead more independent lives. Social challenges might continue, but with therapy and guidance, they can learn to navigate social situations more successfully. Nonverbal children may face more challenges in communication, but that doesn't mean they won't make progress. Early intervention and the right strategies can lead to significant growth in their ability to express themselves and connect with others. Remember, it's not about the label. Every child has unique strengths. Focus on your child's individual journey and don't be afraid to ask for help along the way. Progress may look different for each child, but with the right support, every child can thrive. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Every family's experience is unique, and your perspective is so valuable. How have you navigated the differences between verbal and nonverbal autism in your own family? What challenges have you faced, and what has worked for you? I know there are so many of you out there who have incredible insights and stories to share. Let's get the conversation started in the comment section below. Your experiences might just be the answer someone needs today. If you found any of these insights helpful, or if something really resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up. I can't tell you how much it helps us reach more parents and caregivers who might need this information. A simple like helps our community grow and make sure that others who are in the same boat can benefit too. And while you're at it, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because there's so much more content on the way that can support you through this journey. By subscribing and turning on notifications, you'll never miss an update. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for the next video because we have more tips, real-life stories, and strategies to help you support your child in ways that truly make a difference. So please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It means the world to us and helps our channel grow so we can keep bringing you valuable content. All right, let's quickly recap everything we've covered today. Understanding the differences between verbal and nonverbal autism is incredibly important. It's not just about whether your child speaks or not, it's about recognizing their unique needs, how they communicate, and how they experience the world. For verbal children, communication might be there, but it could be tricky when it comes to social cues or using words appropriately. For nonverbal children, their needs and communication styles might look different, but they still have so much to express, even if it's through gestures, pictures, or alternative communication devices. By understanding these differences, we can approach our children with more empathy and awareness. We can help them feel seen, heard, and understood in the ways that work best for them. Whether it's through better communication tools, more structured routines, or sensory support, it all comes down to recognizing that each child is on their own journey, and the more we understand their individual needs, the better equipped we are to support them in ways that will make a real difference in their lives. Thank you again for being here. I'm so grateful for this community and for all of you who are dedicated to supporting your child in the best way possible. Keep up the great work, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay strong.